My research project focused on the subject matter of the relationship between employment status and substance abuse engaged via those employees due to factors in their working environment. In the introduction, we are objectively addressing these factors via collected data and statistics. It was recorded that majority of Americans drink alcohol on a regular basis, but only 25% use tobacco products regularly. Another important factor to address is how we define discrimination in the workplace and who in the workplace is most likely to experience this discrimination and to what degree. Many relevant and reputable studies did prove a correlation between employee health and discrimination that is occurring in the workplace, along with other unjust environmental factors and acts. The research of full-time employees and their relationship with coping mechanisms in terms of alcohol abuse and tobacco abuse were more narrowed in many studies to find that minorities in workplaces are more likely to receive higher levels of harassment or threats, which can lead to such coping mechanisms, and that there is a strong relationship between experiencing workplace harassment or stressors and using coping mechanisms such as alcohol or tobacco use. Research questions that were used to guide my research and my search included the following. Workplace stressors can be communicated in a variety of ways. I found that one of the difficult obstacles I faced in my research was only limiting myself to the reputable and relevant data, but it is so vital to do this so that your results cannot be argued. I still wanted to share other forms of expression that people have shared in the form of art when it comes to speaking about how they feel they are being treated in the workplace. I stated my hypothesis in APA format. Here I have three. Note that for research methods purposes, it was vital to be aware of all that your data included and all that it needed to not include in order for your results to make sense and speak accurately towards the hypothesis you were trying to prove. For instance, it was important to disclude data that references part-time employees, retired employees, or unemployed individuals. It is also vital to only include results included in scholarly publishings that do not exceed more than 10 years. Again, when it comes to your research method, you want to be very specific on what study participants or your study population needs to look like. With research methods, it's also important to honestly and objectively address the possibility and reality of confounding factors and variables. What could influence study results? What factors are hiding behind the scenes or behind the relationship of variables that are being explored? Statistical analysis is a vital part of your research methods. There is a variety of very specific and purposeful measures that can effectively and efficiently translate what exactly your studies are saying or the exact relationship between variables that were observed and analyzed and discovered through your research and through your data. An example of that can be your relative risk rate formula, or it could be the chi-square formula. There's a couple of different ways you can go about finding the correct solution to these. I provided some methods that I prefer to pursue. For relative risk rate, I like to write it out by hand or make an Excel table. And then for the chi-square formula, I prefer to use a calculator for best accuracy. These discuss different aspects of the relationship of your variables, and it's important to communicate that and be aware of that in your research and when explaining the results of your research. In this study, we are exploring and analyzing the results of employees' relationship with the substance abuse of alcohol. In this study, we are reviewing employees' relationship with the substance abuse of tobacco products. And this is the factor that ties all of those coping mechanisms together, which is workplace harassment. This study uses the term bullying, which can be encompassed under the umbrella term of harassment or stressors, which individuals unfortunately experience, and this skillfully exposes. Unfortunately, it was proved that there is a significant correlation between full-time employees who, for one reason or another, some reasons were exposed in these studies, are more so exposed to workplace harassment and stressors, and how they turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms in the form of substance abuse, specifically tobacco or alcohol abuse. The fortunate part of discovering this unfortunate reality is that there are solutions, and the solutions begin here with the data. Thank you so much for your time. Let's make a difference.